Brought to you by 1AAuto.com, your source for quality replacement parts and the best service on the internet.
Hi, I'm Mike from 1AAuto. I hope this how-to video helps you out. And next time you need parts for your vehicle, think of 1AAuto.com. Thanks.
In this video, we're going to show you how to replace a front hub on this 2005 Volkswagen Jetta, and it's the same part and similar process on these Jettas from 2005 to 2009. And we show you on the passenger side, but the driver's side is the same procedure. And the items you'll need for this is a new front hub from 1AAuto.com, 16, 17, 21, and 27mm socket and ratchet, flat blade screwdriver, a pick, a T30 and T47 Torx bit, a hammer, jack and jack stands, a torque wrench, and a 12mm 12-point bit that we recommend using with an impact gun. Now to get started, you want to just pry off this Volkswagen badge, and then using a 27mm socket and ratchet with a piece of pipe for some extra leverage, just loosen up that hub bolt, and you're not removing it for right now. Now using your pick, remove these caps. And for one of these lug nuts, you're going to have to use a key, and the key can be found in your trunk with the spare tire. It just inserts into that special lug nut and then removes the same as the other lug nuts using a 17mm socket. And if you have air-powered tools, you can raise your vehicle, then remove the lug nuts. If you don't, loosen the lug nuts while the vehicle's on the ground, then raise and support the vehicle and remove them the rest of the way, and then your wheel will pull free.
So the first thing we're going to do is there's little plugs here that pry out, and then there are Torx bits in there. And there's this one here, and this one down here as well.
And we'll fast forward as Mike removes those two T47 bolts. A flat blade screwdriver, just pry out this wire clip and pull it free.
Just to get things off easier, take a large screwdriver and just pry a little bit.
Now pull your brake caliper off, and this first brake pad will just pull right out, and then this one just pull out on either side of it, and it'll pull out of the piston. Now remove these two 21mm bolts. And you can see Mike uses a piece of pipe for some extra leverage and just removes those. And once those are removed, your caliper bracket will pull free. Now remove this T30 screw at the front of your rotor. Spray some penetrating oil around the edge here where the rotor meets the hub, and then twist in one of these lug bolts halfway. And then using a hammer, just hit the back of the rotor until it breaks free. Then remove that lug bolt, and your rotor will pull off. Now remove this 27mm hub bolt. Now twist it back in, just about halfway. And then hammer it, and this will help push out the axle on the other side. It won't pull out all the way yet though, until you remove these three 16mm nuts. And we're just going to speed up this process. And then using a pry bar, pry down on the lower control arm. Then push a socket back through the hub, and using a hammer, push the axle out the rest of the way. Now you can pull the axle free and set it aside. And then remove these four 12-point 12mm bolts. And you want to put the bit in there and then use your impact gun. If you don't have one, you can use a socket and ratchet with a piece of pipe for some extra leverage. And to get the two towards the back of the vehicle, you just want to turn your wheel. And once you've removed all four of them, twist one of them back into place. And you only want to twist it in a few threads into the hub, and then just hammer the hub until it seems to break free. Then remove that bolt. And your hub's free. On the right is the old hub. On the left is the new one from 1A Auto. You can see they're identical and will fit exactly the same. Start one of the bolts and then push your new hub into place and twist the bolt back in, and then replace the other 3 bolts and tighten them up.
Now I'm going to torque each one of these. It's 70 Newton meters, which is about 50 foot-pounds. And then you're supposed to go another quarter of a turn. I can usually get to 50 foot-pounds. Let's see here. And then another about 1/8 of a turn is what I can manage without feeling like I'm going to strip something out.
Now line up your axle and push it into place. And you want to make sure that your steering wheel is centered again. It makes pushing the axle in a lot easier. And then line up the studs and push them back into the lower control arm and replace those 16mm nuts and tighten them up. Now torque these 3 16mm nuts to 50 foot-pounds. Replace that hub bolt, and you just want to twist it in as far as you can by hand for right now. And then replace your rotor and the T30 screw that holds it in place. Now take your caliper bracket and put it back into place and replace those 2 21mm bolts and tighten them up. And now torque each of those 21mm bolts to 90 foot-pounds. Put your caliper back down into place. Now tighten up those 2 T47 screws. And torque each of those to 30 foot-pounds. Push the wire clip back into place. Replace these 2 caps. Now replace your wheel, and you'll realize here that lug nuts are a bit easier than lug bolts, but you just have to try to hold the wheel in place while you put a lug bolt through, and you want to just balance it on the hub, and eventually the bolt will line up and push in, and then you just want to tighten those up preliminarily. And replace and tighten up each of those, then lower the vehicle and tighten them up the rest of the way. And now torque each of these to 100 foot-pounds in a crossing pattern. And replace your lug nut caps. And now torque that 27mm hub bolt to 150 foot-pounds.
We hope this video helps you out. Brought to you by 1AAuto.com, your source for quality replacement parts and the best service on the internet. please feel free to call us toll-free 888-844-3393. We're the company that's here for you on the internet and in person.